This is episode 0 of Late Night Serial with RJ Morrell and Jayden Walker.
Jayden Walker.
How you doing this evening, buddy?
I'm doing good, man.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, we coordinated so well on that intro.
We really did.
I don't know which one sounds better, so I figured if we did both at the same time, me
People
saying
can just
my name
pick what they like better.
and you saying my name. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
perfect.
that'll work.
So we've actually recorded episode 0 already, and it had some technical difficulties. So we're going to give it another shot. This will be a introduction episode, and then next week will be the first actual episode of a full show. So
yeah, whoever missed episode 0 really missed out.
The first episode 0.
Yeah, we had some good content there.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep this one.
Do you want to start with what we talked about last time, actually, and just read over those goals that we made?
Yeah, let's run down the list real quick, and then we'll jump into the name and everything.
All right. Let's see here. Last week, we talked about setting goals for the podcast. Our main word was consistency, because we want to be consistent for 52 weeks. So just do one full year of podcasting, because then we'll have a good idea if we like it or not, right?
Absolutely.
And then on my end, I'm going to do all the social media work for the podcast. So I'm just going to do one pic and one video weekly. That's what we call consistent socials. And then you are going to do the edits and uploads for YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Is that it?
There might be a couple more, but those are the main ones, yeah.
All right. And then you're just doing 1 week edits and uploads. And we decided Thursdays are editing days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll take me 2 seconds to post a picture. So I can do that on Tuesday. And then Thursday I can just make the video.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else that was important? I think that was the biggest thing. Oh, we said, why are we even setting these goals at first? We said, because most podcasts don't make it past 21 episodes.
Yeah.
So we got to at least make 22 weeks.
Yeah.
Trying to stay consistent. Do it for 52. Here we go.
All right. Let's get into the name real quick, and then I had a cool idea that I want to run by you.
All right. You talked about the name last time, so you can do it again.
All right. So the name, Late Night Serial. It doesn't really have a meaning, yet it has a very deep meaning to the both of us.
Is that what we said?
No, that's not what we said last time. But to put it briefly, I've known Jayden for, I think we decided, around 10, 11 years. Yeah. We were neighbors starting right around the beginning of middle school and up through high school. And we hung out a lot, especially over the summers. And we would basically live with each other over the summers and on weekends. A lot of spending the night at each other's houses. A lot of late night playing games, playing with Legos, doing all the things, ping pong tournaments, wrestling.
It wasn't a ping pong tournament. That was a ping pong massacre.
Yeah, it was. I've never been too great. At least not as great as the kid who had a ping pong table in his house. So
whatever, you can make excuses.
For sure.
I actually just got a paddle from China not too long ago, so I've even stepped up since then. I play with, I don't know if they'll ever see this, so I don't want to guess too high, but they have to be at least 50 or 60-year-old men.
Okay.
It was actually a funny story. I walked in, we go to play at this place called Can we cut that out? I've yelled a lot recently.
No, you're good. Keep going.
We're gonna put that in.
Yeah, we'll cut it out.
That's so embarrassing. All right. So we play at a place called Maggie Trejo, and it's like just a community center, and it's on. There's a good part of Lubbock, and there's a bad part of Lubbock. That's all I'm gonna say, and it's not in the good part. But once you get in there, it's just a big old open room, and they got some really nice ping pong tables. And this one girl came up to me, and she was like, I walked in, and I was like, I'm here for the ping pong group, and she was like, I think they play because they're old. And I was like, no, you don't understand what's happening right now. I was like, these people right here are better than anybody my age. And she was like, okay. And she had me scared for a second because I thought maybe I was going into like the old folks' home to play ping pong.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, are these dudes in like wheelchairs? I'm gonna come up here thinking that I was about to get some competition.
Yeah.
So for about like 2 seconds, I was scared that I was in the wrong spot, and then I got annihilated for an hour by 60-year-old men, dude. They
Dang.
do not play around.
Yeah.
And they're telling me about their paddles. They're like, I was like, how much is that? I'm thinking about getting a new one. They're like, oh, like 280. Yeah.
Holy cow, dude.
So they don't even make these things out of wood anymore. I forgot what it's called. I can't remember, but the actual wood wedge in between the rubbers,
Yeah.
it has a name. They were telling me about it, but it's made out of carbon fiber now on a lot of them. So
That's wild.
they're incredibly light, and it
Yeah.
doesn't do anything for the actual bounce. The rubbers are what do the bounce because they're actually like probably a couple millimeters thick. Like you would be
Mm.
surprised. You have the rubber layer and then like a foam layer,
Yeah.
and there's different actions. So like one layer will actually like absorb the ball more,
Mm.
and I think allows you to generate more spin
Mm.
because it absorbs into the rubber, and then when you hit it, that rubber kind of takes that and just spins it a lot more.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that are like no action whatsoever, so it hits it and it just like bounces like it's dead.
Mm.
And so that's actually where the weight's at. So if you had a carbon fiber, just like no rubber on it, the paddle is, I mean, like a feather. And then the rubbers are where you get the weight. And so I had somebody nice enough before they went back to China actually gift me a paddle. And these guys redid my paddle with new rubbers. So
So you got like a custom paddle now.
I don't know if it's custom. I think it's like
It's
Milan or something. And I'm probably saying
refurbished
that
though.
wrong. Yes.
Is it
I
carbon
mean,
fiber or is it still wood?
no, it's wood. I'm all
Okay.
natural. But
Gotcha. For sure, for sure.
it's got new rubbers on it, and I paid like $40 for the rubbers. They're worth 50 together,
Dang.
55. And then the dude put it on like for me, so I didn't pay for any of that.
So you're
But
taking this pretty seriously now.
I mean, it's like impossible to have it as a hobby. Like it's impossible to play these guys with a racket that does any less.
Without taking it a little serious.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a hobby for sure, but if you
Right.
sit down and play these guys, they have the best paddle
That's
and they're
crazy.
putting the most spin on the ball. So if you come up with just like a regular old like Walmart ping pong paddle,
Yeah.
you'll literally touch the ball with that paddle and it'll fly off in another direction. Like you have no control over it. So
Really?
in order to counter that, you have to put that much spin back so that
Dang.
you have control over it. So, and if you don't have rubbers and a nice paddle that can generate that kind of spin, you just get ate up. And like the first couple days I went in there, my rubbers were dead. The ones that I was gifted, like, I mean, it was like sliding your hand across, like, I don't even know, like
Mm.
metal. It was like nothing. It was just slick.
Yeah.
But then what they have on there now, dude, it's like glue. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah. So,
That's cool.
but 60-year-old men absolutely destroying me in ping pong. They're like 10 feet back. And then I'm like
Really?
10 feet back, hitting it as hard as I can. And
Yeah.
they're just throwing it back like it was nothing.
That's
And they
that's
put,
honestly pretty sick.
yeah, they'll put the dirty. Yeah, it's awesome. But
Well, yeah, no, that
where did
was
we go?
I don't know, that was actually kind of cool to
Yeah,
learn about that.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro. So yeah, the name, um, basically,
That's where we started from. I
yeah,
forgot.
yeah,
All right, yeah, you got it.
basically, on these nights we'd be spending the night with each other, we just got into this habit of every night at midnight we would go downstairs and not just make a bowl of cereal, but we would pull 3 or 4 whatever cereal you had out of
Yeah,
the
get a few
pantry.
options.
Yeah, just
Grab
so
some
we could
bowls and some
decide.
spoons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take the dishes upstairs, take the milk upstairs, which we got in trouble for plenty of times. You got in
Yeah,
trouble
because
for.
we left it up
Wasn't
there
me.
all night. I don't know
Yeah.
why we were like too lazy to go back downstairs.
Well, because it was midnight, we don't want to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
We want to be loud.
Exactly.
We've
Yeah,
already been
but
down there once.
yeah, and that's basically how it started. It was just like what we did as kids. It was a important part of our hangouts. And after 4 hours of discussing names for the podcast and a list of, you know, a bunch of names, one of the first ones I wrote down. I revisited that Jayden just skimmed over because he
That's what
wasn't.
you told me.
Yeah.
This dude comes to me with a list of like 30, 40 names, and he's like, "Hey, let's sit down and work on what the name of the podcast is going to be today." And so I open it up. He's already got like 40 on there, and I'm reading them, and they're like, I don't remember the names, but
But
I wasn't
yeah.
feeling it. It was
Yeah.
like 10 in a row where I was like,
Yeah.
And so then I just skipped like the last 30, and I go
Yeah.
down, and we're just sitting here debating.
For
Like,
hours, dude.
there's some that lasted for like 30 minutes, and we loved it at first, but then we said it again at the 30-minute mark, and it was like horrible. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know if you read this one, but up here, dude, like late night cereal. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh,
Oh, damn. That's
that's
the
it.
one. Yeah.
There goes 4 hours of my life.
Yeah. But
It
it was good. I think
was
the
fun.
yeah, all those I think discussing all those made us realize like it doesn't because all the other names we were coming up with had some like super deep meaning to them.
This is just casual.
Yeah, like it made us realize it doesn't need to be super
Well, and
philosophical, you know.
that's what we talked about. I'm 5 hours away now, and
Yeah.
we're not kicking it anymore. So this is like bringing it back. Just
Yeah.
like having some late night cereal, but now it's just like I mean, we can eat cereal if you
We
want.
can, except you're diabetic, so, you know.
That's just dropping that right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, people are
We'll
going to
tell
figure that
everybody
out.
about it
Yeah,
eventually. I
eventually.
just like the idea of like eating a bowl of cereal right next to the
A little ASMR.
mic. Ugh.
Mr. ASMR. Okay, yeah.
What?
We'll cut that out because I was just like I had a weird like you always talk about ASMR and then you're
Yeah,
like, ew,
exactly.
and I was like, bro.
I know. I was just messing with you.
Okay, okay. So yeah,
All right.
that's the name. Um it's kind of just a it just means we're kind of I don't want to make this sound all like I don't know.
We talked a little bit deeper about it last time. I mean, we said how big of a deal this was. I mean, you would come over, we'd spend the night, and you talked about Legos, dude. We'd have, I mean, wars
Oh yeah.
with
No, and
Legos.
like week long campaigns where storylines led into other storylines. It was epic.
And I had a bed that was like 6, 7 feet off the
It was
ground,
lofted.
and that
Yeah.
was like air base. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, we had characters with like war stories and
Oh yeah.
backgrounds
Yeah.
that had seen all the worst
Yeah.
and huge deaths. I mean,
Huge deaths.
I
Big
mean,
emotional things that took place during these
Mega
Lego
Man
wars.
cry kind of
Yeah.
deaths.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you custom made like a few like different
Weapons.
weapons.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just with like you made a mag out of a minifigure arm
Yeah.
one time. I mean,
Yeah.
that was fun.
It really was fun. And I think that was one of the reasons I even brought up doing the podcast is because you and I like we would call every once in a while you've been at school. Um and it was just like I legitimately had this feeling of like I'm getting more and more disconnected from Jayden cuz we just aren't neighbors anymore and we don't talk all the time. And when I had like this buddy of mine that I literally saw like every other day growing up, and now all of a
Yeah.
sudden like we're rarely talking, it felt like
Mhm.
a super important thing for me to be like, hey, not only is this like an opportunity for us to kind of, I don't know, just restart some of the stuff we did as kids, but it's also something as two young men kind of entering that adult phase is where we were already discussing stuff we're learning and how we're applying all this stuff we're reading from books going into adulthood, so it's kind of a we can give that out to people as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're about to jump into the pool. So,
Yeah.
and I think the main idea with this podcast was just to stay true to the name.
Mm.
It's literally just for fun. It's something casual, and it's acknowledging that we don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
We're literally just sitting here kind of talking things out, learning as we go. and
Yeah,
figured, share that with some other people. They can come along with us.
absolutely. Like right off the bat, we are both super dumb. Like we're not going to be professionals on anything we talk about. The whole point is to discuss and to learn and figure it out,
I don't
and
think we're
kind of
super dumb. We're maybe
we're
slightly uneducated in some fields,
yeah, I mean in terms of
many
life,
fields.
yeah, many fields. Um there are some specific
Jaden's got
things
the two D's. He's dumb and he's a diabetic.
that double D, double D Jayden.
Yes, sir. That's what they call me.
Yeah. Well, so that's actually a good segue into an idea I had.
All
All
right. So
right.
you said a segue into the next part.
Yeah, so just talking about learning things and, bouncing ideas off of each other. Are you familiar with the movie and or the book The Count of Monte Cristo?
Yes,
Okay. Have you read the book or what seen the movie, I'm guessing?
I've seen the movie. And
Okay,
can you remind me what happens? Because
for sure.
I'm thinking of several different old movies in my head. I know it's not um black like
Oh, like the V is for Vendetta thing.
no he's wearing the black mask and like all black clothes and
Mm.
he's oh my gosh, why can't I
The
remember
Princess
the
Bride?
Princess Bride? Yes, sir.
That is another excellent movie.
Yeah, I'm like blending a lot of things
I got you.
together.
I got you.
I was
Similar,
about to I was about to say you killed my father, prepare to die.
yeah,
But
yeah. No, I actually really love that movie. But
okay, good.
no. So the Count of Monte Cristo is basically a like a decades long revenge story about a guy who has it all good. He's got a good job. He gets a promotion. He's got the perfect woman. Like he's gonna marry her, and some people are very jealous of that and want him. They don't want to get in trouble for things they've done, so they basically use him as their scapegoat, and he gets locked away in prison
Yeah,
for yeah,
yeah. And this is like old times, right?
yeah, yeah. It's in
Yeah,
that
exactly. I was
book.
gonna say the dude in prison.
Yeah, yeah. It's during the Napoleonic Wars in
I know.
France.
Yep, I know exactly
So
what you're talking about.
yeah, and the whole thing in the book and the movie, it's a little more dramatized in the movie because in the movie he can't read and everything. And the book is super long, by the way. And I'm not going to suggest we listen to the book or read the book because it was like 30 hours. I listened to it and it was really good, but it's a commitment.
Are we gonna read any non self help books?
We might if there's something to be learned from them, but we'll get to that.
All right,
Um,
sounds good. Keep going.
so basically, in the movie he can't read. In the book, he's a smart guy, but he's not super educated, and
Hmm.
he goes to prison and basically one of the other inmates is trying to escape and ends up tunneling into his prison cell, the main character's
Okay.
prison cell, instead of out. Right
Uh
at the
oh.
moment where the main character is like, this is all worthless. Like, I'm never getting out of here. Like, I should just die. Like, I'm going to stop eating, so on.
Yeah.
And this other prisoner busts through the floor and has this mindset of like, well, I could either dig left or right, and I picked the wrong way, so I'm gonna start digging the other way.
Yeah.
And basically the characters link up, and it turns out this other prisoner is uh, he's now a priest. He's a very well-read guy, and he's actually in the book. It's a lot of information, but he basically has a bunch of books in his cell,
Okay.
and
A
there's
little
this.
learning, a learning to read arc.
Yes. Well, not necessarily learning to read. Yes, in the movie, but there's this education that takes place that it's like, okay, if you ever get out of here, you're going to be more capable in all of these different fields than most people. So the whole thing was like this priest had read before he was in prison, he had read thousands of books, for example. And he was like, I've come to the conclusion that like these 5 or 6 books have the sum of like all you need to know in terms of basics for each, for financial stuff, for health and well-being, so on, you know. And so I had this idea, we should do some research, which this should not be super difficult. Somebody has maybe already done it and we can make our own version of the list, but
We'll
I
pretend
thought it
like
would
it's
be,
ours.
not pretend, we'll, you know, we can take inspiration, but I thought it would be cool for us to kind of create a list of, hey, you know, we're 21. We know a little bit about real estate, very little. You know, we know a little bit about managing our finances, very little, you know. Um we know some about, you know, health and well-being, like exercise, nutrition, you know. Yeah, a little more for those. Um a little about philosophy, a little bit, you know, a decent amount about family life, but the whole concept is we could make a list of books where we're like, if you're only going to pick one book in this subject, read this. So like as almost like
Oh,
a
like one book
starter.
in the financials.
Exactly.
So like the our top five.
Yeah, and it's like if you're not a big reader, you know, like I'm trying to become more of a reader. I love audiobooks, but I'm trying to get more into reading actual books. But if,
You get more out of it.
yeah, and it's more of a relaxing thing, and it kind of retrains the mind to not just be like addicted to, you know, like Instagram and like all the input you're getting from them.
I do like that idea.
Yeah,
Um, I do want to become a little bit more analog. Although I am someone who likes the idea of moving towards the future.
I am
I
too.
like I
Yeah.
like technology a lot, and I want
Hmm.
to work with it. But I do like the idea of like, because I realize that's what I do. Like a commercial break for a basketball game, pull out TikTok,
Yeah.
and it's not like I want to. It's not like I want to pull out my book in the middle of like every
Right.
break,
Right.
or like if somebody's not talking to me, I'm just like standing around reading my book. But I would like to desensitize my mind a little bit to the point
Yeah.
where I have a little bit more peace in the quiet,
Absolutely.
as opposed to like filling every second with something.
Like, yeah, and like the need to like you're not doing anything. I need to pull my phone out. Like you just do it by habit. You know what I
And
mean?
we can talk about that later, but I feel like
Absolutely.
that's that's a big thing that's gonna go kind of unread in the future. I think a lot of people are talking about it, but that constant filling
Stimulation.
your head with media,
Yeah.
like people 100 years ago didn't have that. You know,
No.
like if they went to watch a movie, it was a play probably.
Yeah.
But I don't remember when they made the first. What did they call them?
What motion pictures?
No, they had an. I forgot the freaking name. I can't remember, but they had a name for like the first movie theaters,
Mm,
and that was like crazy, you know. And you went and watched a movie, and then you went home, and you weren't jumping on TikTok.
right.
I think I don't know. I think there's something to be said, and I'm not diving into mental health. I'm just diving into like day to day mental well being.
Mm,
I think there's something to be said about, I guess, happiness and where you are mentally and how many lives you're living during the day. Like you're watching a TV show and you're like throwing yourself into somebody else's fantasy and you're getting like emotional over, or just all different kinds of emotions over that.
yeah.
And then you turn on TikTok and you maybe see something that's like a political view you don't like and maybe
Hmm.
angers you. And then you turn around and you see maybe a tragic story and that one kind of saddens you. And it's like, I feel like you're bouncing around 24/7
Yeah.
and you're not just kind of like stable.
Mm.
I feel like that does so much. Just TV and social media, just that constant, like it's almost brain numbing sometimes.
It really is, and I like now I'm better about it, and I don't have TikTok anymore because every time I downloaded it, I would stay up till like 2 a.m. on it. Yeah,
That's crazy.
I'm super addicted to that kind of stuff, and so with Instagram and even Facebook, there's some like pages on Facebook that are just really interesting to me. And so I have like a 5 minute timer set for both of them. And I'm a lot better about it now.
Five
But
minutes?
yeah,
You do 5 minutes a day?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just to and it's gotten to the point now where like I'm really not even on it, like using it the app for what it is. I'm like checking messages from you or Stone and like just getting a
Because
quick
I'm
like
on much more than 5 minutes
yeah,
a
yeah.
day.
So I'm just like and any like news that pops up like right at front and center, like I'll check it out because that is another thing. Like most of the news you're getting is through social media, and you can't obviously you need to absorb a lot of it because there's going to be a lot of very tainted news articles on there and a lot of opinionated news articles on
Gotta
there.
make your own picture. But
Exactly.
I'm also a sucker for like being able to say, "Oh, there's nothing I can do about that," and don't worry about it.
Right.
So there's a lot of news that I don't watch
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if it's something that like the president's gonna make a decision today, I'm not gonna worry about that decision because I
Yeah.
don't work
Yeah.
in Washington and
Right.
I can't whisper in his ear. Like I mean, I'm not gonna affect the outcome of this. So
Yes. Yeah.
I like to stay away from some news because that fills just my head with things that I literally can't do anything about.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So
But yeah, I like you said brain numbing. It'll literally get to the point if I say I hit the add 10 minutes button or I turn the timer off for the day and I just
yeah,
find myself on it for a little too long, it'll get to the point where I'm like, I almost just feel sick. I'm like, gosh, like, and I'll like throw my phone onto my bed or something. And I'm like, I need to
hmm
like, it feels like I need to break away from this thing that's like got me under control,
dude,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you get stuck in that like state of mind where you've been scrolling for like the past however long. I mean, I'll do it for hours if I have a day.
Yeah.
And I'm on my bed
Mm,
and I literally have to get up and do something
yeah.
in order to remove myself. I can't like just lay down. Like
Yeah.
once I'm there, I'm there. So I gotta maybe go outside. Like today I
Mm,
played pickleball. Like
yeah.
that was nice, but like I have to remove myself almost physically. Like I
Yeah.
have
Like
to go
change the
do
environment.
I have to,
Yeah.
or I'm just still just stuck in whatever kind of headspace that puts me in.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've even like gotten off it before I started doing timers and everything. I would get off of it, and be like, I need to go do something else, and go start to do something else, and then
And then you pull it right back
a
out.
little bit of a speed bump, and you're like, let me just check this, and you're like, I'm back on it again. Like you don't
And
even
it's been
realize.
30, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
It's and it's what is it even for? Like what did I like if you literally go back and think about that's the one thing that's hard to like wrap my head around with TikTok
mm,
is I can watch 2 hours of TikTok and
yeah,
then I can literally think about what did I just watch? And I won't remember 95% of it.
yeah,
I'll remember one good video or one funny story, but like besides that, I could probably start scrolling back and go, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah."
mhm.
Like it literally is in and
Yeah.
out, and I'm just like
You're literally just hitting that reward button in your head every time you're
over and
scrolling. You're like,
over again,
yes,
dude.
yes, yeah, yeah,
I watch it. I like my girlfriend will be on there,
mm,
and I and she's not the only one that does this, but I watch how fast they move. Like
okay, so
if it's not immediately what you like, it's boom, boom, and
yeah.
I'll be trying to watch a video. I'm like, what are you doing?
And so have you noticed when you're not locked in to the reels or shorts or whatever, that format, because that is the most addictive format that has ever been
No, they got
created.
it down to a science.
It's perfect. When you're not locked into that and you just hear it, doesn't it sound so crazy? Because you're hearing one little clip and then
18
it's
different
different
sounds in a
clips,
minute.
different yeah. And when you're not looking at it and like actually stuck in that zone, when you hear somebody else doing it, it sounds crazy. You're
Yeah,
like,
and
what are you doing? You know what I mean?
I'm not a hater of it though. Like I enjoy doing it and I think
Yeah,
it can be a relax like I think you can chill out at night and scroll
right.
on your phone, but everything in moderation, right? Like
Yeah,
and the and I think if I continued to get worse and worse and watched more and more TikTok, I think I watch myself slowly turn into a faster scroller where it's like
yeah,
I I can't sit down and like watch a 3-minute video now.
yeah.
Like the longer ones, I'm like, nope.
Hmm.
I just need like that 10-second hit.
Yeah, I know
And
what you
it's
mean,
like
dude.
I mean it's worse than smoking, dude.
Dude, it is the
It's
most addictive thing I have ever seen.
it's like smoking, you mean you take a hit and you're probably good for at least 15 seconds, man. And
Yeah.
these are like, I mean, I'm 3 seconds next, 3 seconds
Yeah.
next.
And you
Like,
need it again. You're craving it again. Yeah.
maybe, you know what? Moral of the story, we should be smoking cigarettes.
Instead of TikTok. For sure, dude. Bring
Let's
back
solve
the
a
Marlboro,
problem.
man.
Let's solve a problem and create another.
Yeah, for sure. But
Well, I like where you went there. That's a good segue. Like, why reading? I think it
yeah.
pulls you. I think it pulls you away from that a little bit. I think getting
Yeah.
stuck in the book world
Mm.
is better than getting stuck in the TikTok world, just because it's one narrative and it's not changing over and over again.
And it's teaching you, it's
and,
reteaching you how to focus on
and just
something.
have some patience.
But yes, patience. Because something we didn't even mention about these reels is they've upgraded them now. So now, like, a lot of them is you're watching a Minecraft parkour video while someone's telling you a story. You're not just
I
watching
sound like
one thing. You know what I mean? You're taking in two things because one thing wasn't enough to keep somebody engaged anymore. You
I
know what I
sound like
mean?
an old dad. Like, and on top of that, they've upgraded them.
Yes, they have, dude.
There's two at once. What are we gonna do in 15 years? Everybody's gonna be on their phone, not getting a job.
Dude,
No,
I'm
it's
telling
not.
you, man.
It's not that horrible. Like, you can still work with it. I still enjoy it,
I can't.
but I recognize that it can absolutely be a huge issue. And yeah, you'll find yourself reading a book,
Mm,
reading a page, and this might be like, I'm dyslexic for some people, and so I'm not. Some
I
people,
actually am dyslexic.
because, well, that's exactly why I said it, because I knew I was gonna say this, and you were gonna be like, "Oh well, I don't watch TikTok, and I do that." But
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna read a page, and then you're gonna go, "What did I just read?"
Exactly. And then you're rereading and rereading and rereading, and it gets
'Cause-
really frustrating.
and for you, it's like, because you were like, the words were hard, but
For you, it's because you can't really read, but you know.
yeah, who's dumb here? Um, but anyways, yeah, but like, now you like read the whole page and you realize you thought about 18 different things,
Yes.
which which is something that's become more prominent now that I've started to notice
It's
and like
like
and stress myself out more, is that like you're always thinking about something.
no, the way
Even
I heard someone describe it is it's like if you're driving and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I've been driving for 5 minutes and I don't remember any of it.
That's the best place to be, though. That's 5 minutes a piece. And I
But
want to I want to get that on a book.
when you're reading, you're like, I'll do this thing where I'm like, I've been reading for 5 minutes
Mhm.
and like I've been actually word, like going down the page, flip the page. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I didn't actually read any of that. I was just reading it without processing any of it.
That's
It
what
was,
I want to be able to have linear focus, like
yeah.
just right there. I don't want to read it and then go, "Oh wait, what did all that say?" But
Yeah.
I also don't want to read it
Yeah.
and then see the word like homework and then go, "Oh shoot, I have 8 assignments due tomorrow." And then, "Oh shoot, this." And then literally once you think about that, it's gone.
Yeah, I don't even want to be reading it. I want to do whatever I need to do.
Well, not even that, but like, I'm just like, mentally I'm gone. Like, I'm literally, I went from 8 homeworks to, wait, this teacher gave a homework.
Yeah.
Wait, I need to talk to that teacher. Wait, remember when she said this? Wait, in
Mm.
her class I have this friend. I'm like, literally, like, I'll jump to 18 different things.
Mm.
I I think a nice thing to do would be able to like just have linear focus, calm the mind down a little bit.
Yeah, where you can sit down and read and then just that's all you're doing. You're enjoying
But
the process of reading.
I think we're giving away some things we're going to talk about in the future.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
main topic is definitely beneficial to read a book, and if you can get something out of it, that's kind of the plan here. So we're trying to read a book every 3 weeks and then
Yeah.
cover it,
Yeah.
which if we start turning into really good readers, like maybe 6th grade, 7th grade level,
Mm.
maybe we can read it every
Pushing it
two
a little
weeks
bit, but stretch goals. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. We can start doing books every 2 weeks, but
Yeah. I do.
self-help.
Yeah. And there are some other books like one of the next books we're going to cover after this first book. Should we say the first book we're going to cover or leave that for
I mean,
another
we
time?
can the next week, which means we're gonna have to read a book in a week this time. Or I am. You're already done, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm like halfway through. So
It's final season, so I'm behind, but I'll get it done. But yeah,
yeah,
week 1, Atomic Habits. Now
yeah.
week 2, what do you have?
Week 2, I think we're gonna do just a discussion, and then week 3, we're gonna do
No, week 4, but I'm sorry, I meant the
week
the
4.
next book.
The next book we're gonna do Lives of the Stoics.
All right. You're
Yeah,
a little stoic, man.
dude, it is such a
One
good
thing
book.
one thing you'll learn about RJ is his response is going to be no emotion.
I'm a big
RJ thinks he's, what is it? Marcus
Marcus Aurelius.
Aurelius in
Dude,
present day.
I have a copy of Meditations, which is his book, on my
And
desk
if
right now.
he emotionally kind of loses himself for even a second, his empire will fall.
No, no, I actually also have a. If you're just listening, you won't be able to see, but I 3D printed a bust of Marcus Aurelius because he's a pretty cool
He
guy.
looks at that every morning and goes, "No
No, no, that's the thing. Is
emotion."
this is why I really wanted you to read this book specifically, is because most people think the Stoics were all about showing no emotion, when in reality they were very emotional people.
But just suppressing it, which I like that idea.
Not
Keeping
necessarily,
it in control.
yeah, they wouldn't necessarily suppress it, but it was a kind of like what you said earlier about the news.
So
And we don't.
what you pretty much said is I'm deeper than everybody. Actually, I just don't show it.
No, no, no,
I
no.
have so many emotions.
They were very big on, I'm gonna do what I can about what I can, and if I
Yep,
can't control it, I'm not gonna let it affect me.
I
Which
love
is
that. I
what you just
literally, yeah,
said earlier.
I love that.
So I think you're
Dude, am
really
I a
gonna
stoic?
enjoy. Maybe, bro. Maybe. That's why I want us to cover this book, because it's not like Meditations is Marcus Aurelius's writings.
Mm-hmm.
Um there's you can read Seneca's writings, you can read not Epictetus's writings, but one of Epictetus's students wrote down what he said. And it's not like that. Lives of the Stoics is literally like a, here's the guy who started the philosophy. This is why he started the philosophy, and it goes through the lives of them and not just their writings. So it's a lot more like their it's a lot more about their actions and less just about them, what they're writing. Like Seneca, he wrote some of the best um, literature on Stoicism, but he was not a very good practicing Stoic in reality. Like he didn't stick to a lot of the virtues. So it shows you the reality of like who these people were. And it's a good, like, if you're not somebody who likes reading philosophy, which I'm not super crazy about it, I just have a few people that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But just a lot of that more deep literature, like it's a very entry level, like I'm just hearing a story about people. I'm not hearing, you know, old English fancy words, like straight up philosophy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's why I wanted to cover that soon on too, because or early on, because I know I'm gonna bring up Stoicism every once in a while on the show, and it's a good like entry level. If people want to read it, you can. You're gonna have a better understanding of like the basics of it, so we can kind of discuss more on that.
I just think it's funny that about 2 weeks ago I thought it was stoic, and then
Stoic.
in about 3 weeks I'm gonna do a podcast on it. That's where we talk about that level of knowledge that we're delivering.
Absolutely, bro. Turns
that
out not stoic.
Yeah. First of all, guys, I would like to start this episode off. My biggest thing I learned today is stoic, not
Stoic.
stoic. I think
Yeah,
there's like a stoichiometry.
could
Is
be.
there a stoichiometry? Is that a chemistry thing? Let me
I
look
don't
it up
know.
real quick.
I am not a chemist, but
Stoichiometry. Yes, it is. Wait,
bro,
it
you're a
isn't.
fast typer. You
I don't think
already
I'm.
looked that up.
I don't think I'm a fast typer. I think you're just a slow one. But it's okay.
I type with
Relationship.
one finger.
Oh goodness. Well, that'll be a whole episode itself.
Yeah,
RJ learns how to type. Come learn with us.
one finger at a
That's
time.
how it's supposed to be, but not like with one finger.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
The relationship between the relative quantities of substances taking part in a reaction or forming a compound, typically a ratio of whole energy. Okay, so it is a reaction or compound. It's a relationship between two compounds and a reaction. It's like how chemists solve for what products they're gonna get if two reactants come together.
There you go.
Anyways,
Learn a word each
so
day.
maybe I thought it was stoic because I'm up here
Right. You're
and
on a
you're
different
talking about things that are
intellectual
down
level.
here.
Yeah. Well, all right.
All
Anyway,
right,
talking about books.
let's
Yeah.
find it back. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be really cool for us to kind of, what are the important things that we want to go, what's the knowledge we want to arm ourselves with going into adulthood, and we'll come up with a list of books that kind of sums up those topics. So
Yeah,
all
but I
the
don't. I'm
go
sorry, I
ahead.
didn't mean to
No,
cut you
no,
off.
no, no, you're good, you're good.
I don't want it to be like, just all knowledge going into adulthood. I mean, this is supposed to be a little bit fun as well, right? Like,
Absolutely, I'm just saying, like there are certain things that I want to be more educated on.
okay.
um And I think having a list of books for people where it's like, if you want to just up your level of knowledge on this topic, this is like a really good place to start. Like, not
Yeah.
experts in everything, but familiar with most things type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I like the idea. I know some people they do a podcast. It
Mm.
was funny. I've never listened to a podcast before this.
Yeah, you're
Like
not a
not once.
podcast guy at all.
Um but I do like talking a lot.
For
That's the hardest thing
anybody
about this.
who does listen to podcasts, which is probably why you're listening to this one, Jayden literally said on our first attempt of episode 0, he was like, I don't even know what Joe Rogan does. Like, what's his deal?
I've seen him on TikTok a couple times, but
Yeah,
yeah, I like talking, and that's letting you talk is gonna be my
that's your
my
hang up
biggest learning curve here.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, I've never done the podcast thing, but I do know after a little bit of research and what I see on like socials, people kind of get stuck on one thing, like they have to be informative.
Mm.
I like to keep it open. I mean, I feel like learning about life could literally still be comedic,
I
and we could
100% agree.
talk about things that are fun sometimes too.
Yeah, no, and 100%. This and these books, like this list I want to create, I don't even think we should, like, we don't necessarily need to cover any of these books on the podcast. It's literally, I just want a list that we could put out for people where it's like, if I'm, like, I didn't learn a lot about taxes or managing finance in school. I'm sure most people probably have that a similar situation. So
Yep.
getting stuff that's not like, we need to find stuff that's not super dry and like hard to read, and it's like, this is like just all technical, not interesting at all. Like stuff that'll actually keep you engaged, but for our generation, for people like us that are like, hey, I need to know this stuff just going into adulthood. I want to be successful. Let me arm myself with like a little bit of knowledge and everything. Like, what should I be eating? How should I be exercising?
I
How
mean,
do I manage my money?
my dad's been trying to get me to read a few books for a minute now, so this
Mm,
will be my excuse, and I'll throw some of those on there, and I think everybody will be happy.
yeah.
And they've been a lot of financial ones. He's trying to get me ready.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that is a big area where I'm like super lacking in, you know?
What
And
do
so
we talk about? What do we talk about when we're not doing books?
I don't know. I mean, we're already, how long have we been going now? Does it say somewhere?
57 minutes.
So we've done almost an hour off of two
Nothing.
words. Three, I wrote down ultimate book list on my notepad.
Okay, I
So
like that then.
yeah, like I think sometimes we can just hash it out. Like we'll have a couple bullet points and we can just talk. Like you said, like keeping it light.
Hmm.
Just catching up. Maybe something funny happened. Maybe we like did something cool, that kind of thing.
And if we do other topics, we can research.
But yeah.
I think that'd probably be where the other things come from. Like a big topic, we can both sit down and research it for a week if it's not
Mhm.
a book week, and then we just talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Or
and we're
maybe something relevant comes up, like
yeah,
something just happened this week and it's like, all right, I know we were planning on doing this, but this relevant thing is pretty important. So let's push that planned episode back a week and let's talk about this real quick. Just that way people have our input on something that's relevant. I mean, Jay and I both already agreed we're going to try and stay out of all the political stuff and the, you know, highly contentious stuff. But, if there's something relevant that we feel the need to cover, we can always push back an episode to kind of keep things more engaging for the listeners because it's like, oh, they're talking about this and this just happened type thing.
yep. All right, I think it's a good idea. So we'll talk about books every 3 weeks, and then maybe research some topics and just. I mean, I definitely want to learn, and I'm going to be super curious about a lot of this. But at the end of the day, it's just two buddies getting together, so we'll keep it light
Yeah.
most of the time. I don't know. I mean, light might not be the right word because I'm gonna say exactly what I think about it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get deep on it. But like, it's just gonna be cool. Like, it's just gonna be us two.
And that's the thing, like us naturally just talking to each other. If you call me,
Yeah,
in some afternoon, like a lot
I'm
of
not gonna get
times,
mad at you.
no, but a lot of times we're going to get into discussions about stuff anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, very rarely is it like, hey, man, how's the weather in Lubbock? Like, school going good? Like, we might start with, like, how's school been going? Like, how are some relationships going? Like, and then we'll get into other things, and then it snowballs into a
You don't ask
whole,
about the weather in Lubbock because it always sucks.
oh, for real?
It doesn't always suck. I'm sorry, it's not the weather. The weather can be good, but God, it's the environment, dude. Lubbock is dry, arid, windy, dirt kicked up everywhere.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, campus during the fall and like
Mm,
summer, very beautiful. Many trees,
yeah.
flowers. The sun was out today. I was out in the morning
Mm,
with a buddy, and I mean, it's nice. You can see my face is a little red, actually.
yeah, you got a little sunburn.
But yeah,
Cool, man. Well,
yeah, dude, that's awesome.
yeah.
Um, Paper. All right. We're going to post our reading list. I like that idea.
Yeah.
This is what we're reading next week. This is what we've read.
Yeah. And then we'll make
The
it'll
top
probably,
5.
yeah, it'll probably take a bit. Like, don't
Yeah.
expect this in a couple weeks, but I think actually putting in the time and coming up with books that are not necessarily like easy reads, but something that's actually that we can make through, like if it's a super technical book on finance, like I'm probably not gonna, it's gonna take me forever to read that book because I'm just not gonna be interested in it. So a well-written book for people like us, you know what I mean?
It's gonna suck because that's God. I hate finances, but
Just stuff that's like super technical for
yeah, I got
the,
you.
the
I'm
1%
gonna
that
make
is
you.
obsessed with it.
Well, actually, I was about to say I'm gonna make you read like a book on engineering, but you might actually like that.
I might, yeah.
I'm gonna make you read my solids textbook.
Solids
That
textbook.
that's a good read, dude.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
All right,
And you
well,
have to do every practice problem. But all right, on our list we said talk about the name, talk about the reading list. We got the top 5.
mm,
Um, do we have anything else?
I don't think so. I think that
This
was
is just
just
like a make sure everything works right.
yeah, we're doing this as a bit of a test run, make sure we sound good and we're not lagging, and then just a real brief introduction. So I think that's about it.
Word.
Yeah. Do you want to close it out? You had a pretty good outro last time. I want to know if you can recreate that this time.
I don't remember it, but socials on the back. I know y'all can see all that.
Right,
Follow
right.
us on follow us on Twitter. I won't call it X.
I've heard people call it Twitter X.
Twitterx.
Twitter X?
I'm
Twix.
Twix. I'm a left Twix guy. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I I don't. I
Where
feel like
can
I'm getting.
people follow us?
I feel like I'm getting controversial here, but I Like, I don't hate Elon Musk.
Uh,
He's not always amazing.
uh,
I might have pissed off a lot of people on both sides there. See, that's what Mr. Miyagi says. You walk left side, you walk right side, you walk middle, squash like grape.
yeah,
See,
it's
but
true.
I really am in the middle. So
Yeah,
now everybody's gonna hate me.
most people are in the middle, bro. I wouldn't worry about it.
I I love the fact that that dude's gonna put a rocket ship on Mars. Like,
Mm,
we're like, he's doing all kinds of really cool stuff, but he could have probably just left Twitter alone.
maybe.
Although a lot of people have the fights about like demonetizing and all that stuff and how he's made it like an open platform.
Mm,
But and I the only thing I like about Twitter is if something happens in the world, that's the first place I go because
yeah, me
people
too.
post on it immediately. And honestly, a lot of it is skewed, but a lot of it is literally like maybe like, well, I don't want to talk about something as sad as that, but the thing that happened to Allen Outlets,
Yeah,
like I went on there and it was like first person accounts, like they were there,
yeah. You're
and so
not,
like
and
you
it took
immediately get an
me.
idea
Yeah, it took me hours just looking at like the news on TV and like Instagram and stuff to figure out what was going
to
on.
get
Whereas Twitter,
anything.
it's right there.
Boom.
Yeah, so
And
it's
so,
definitely yeah. There's it serves an important role, but
mhm.
just yeah, let people know where they can find us. I think you got us pretty well set up on
Well, yeah, you can see it right there. Follow us on Twitter at that handle. Follow us on. I'm just kidding.
that you're blocking.
Uh, LNC underscore 2024 for Twitter.
Yeah,
It's late night serial 2024 for TikTok. It's late night serial underscore for Insta and Facebook. I'm gonna change that, but I wrote down the date, but I think it was May 13th. I made the TikTok on April 13th, and I don't know why I didn't just make it the same handle
hmm,
as Instagram and Facebook,
yeah,
and it takes a month before I can change it. And so I need to go in there and just make it late night serial underscore. And then Elon Musk wants to be different, so I don't think you can have an underscore at the end of your name for that one. So and I think you have to have numbers. So that one's gonna be LNC underscore 2024.
yeah.
Um, and yeah,
That's that.
I'm I'm hoping to get I'm hoping to film like behind the scenes of TikTok or behind the scenes of podcasting and put it on TikTok. And like, I like those videos where people are like day one of this. Like, I watched someone build a bus that they like used to tour like America with the other
Hmm.
day.
Yeah,
And it was like day one of building a bus that I can tour America with.
yeah.
And I was there for every day.
I get it, bro.
So
I love that kind of stuff too.
thank you. All right. Well, is that 0.1?
Episode 0.1, sure, yeah.
That's 0.2. It's the Rin edition.
Yeah.
Anyways, late night serial episode 0.2. I did it again. Oh no.
That's a wrap on that, man.
Yeah, no, hold on. I'm sorry. I'll get it back. It's
Okay.
right there. It's right there. All right. Late night serial episode 0.2. That's a wrap. I'll
That's
see
a
you
wrap.
later.